Our remarkable LV game of the week became yet more remarkable on the third and final day. A couple of early boundaries for Jitan Patel had Warwickshire moving onwards from their overnight 180 for 7, which had them 169 runs to the good. 12 more have been added to that when Ricky Clark, with an innings top score of 34, was squared up by Chris Jordan and held in the slips by Harry Finch. Jordan was to have quite a day as it developed in a dramatic way. Ian Westwood, in spite of a broken digit, came out at number 10. He had to bat with one hand and bravely took the ball on the body when he couldn't face the pain running through his hand. This was intense cricket, every run so valuable to both teams. The pitch may have faced some criticism, but it created one hell of a match. Westwood was never going to survive for long, and Steve McGoffin knocked out 2 of his stumps after the batsman dragged on. He may have only added 7 runs with Patel, but that in the end nearly made all the difference in what was becoming something of a championship classic. Jordan wasted no time in getting rid of last man Boyd Rankin, as Warwickshire had to make do with a total of 200, the highest of the match. Patel battling it out for an hour and a half for his 27. It left Sussex with a target of 190, which was never going to be easy on this surface, which had seen the cracks widen throughout. Immediately, the new ball kept on beating the bat until Chris Wright, showing the scars of being hit by the ball when he was batting on the previous day, had Chris Nash on the pull, only to lob a simple catch to square leg to leave with 14 of the runs knocked off. Only one man in this match had coped with the conditions, and that was Luke Wells, who made an inspirational 92 in the first innings. His wicket was going to be a big one, and he offered Jonathan Trott a simple chance to end it. The former England man was left a little embarrassed by the drop, which thankfully for him did not prove costly. Wells had made 19 on this occasion when he turned a ball from right into the hands of a well-placed short leg, where under the helmet was Atiq Javid. The celebrations that followed showed you that Warwickshire knew that they were right in this game, the total now on 31 for 2. And before too long, it appeared that the visitors were the favourites to make it 3 wins in a row. Finch was out to his 5th ball, an unplayable one to be fair to him, as Wright struck for a 3rd time in his impressive opening spell, which brought him figures of 3 for 20 from 8 overs. Clark then came on to get another important wicket, the one of Ed Joyce. He was sent back for 13, with his side now in quite a spot of bother on 38 for 4, a total which soon became 45 for 5 when Clark struck again to have Luke Wright held in the slips by Patel off a nasty rearing delivery. 190 now looked a long way off for a side which appeared to be heading to a 3rd successive defeat after they'd won their first 2 fixtures. But they hadn't given up yet, and Ben Brown and Craig Kachopa combined to keep everybody on the edge of their seats. In the last few days, cricket has become incredibly exciting, and this game was right up there with the best of the season so far. Brown, like so many batters in this game, decided that attack was the best way to deal with things. This huge shot of Keith Parker landing on the roof of one of the hospitality tents. Brown produced just the innings his side were looking for. While Kachopa rode his luck at one end, Brown played with freedom at the other, supplying some cracking shots. Patel wasn't quite as troublesome as he had been on the first day, but he had his side back on top when Kachopa on 20 hauled out to Laurie Evans, who judged the catch and where his feet were perfectly. It was a wicket which left Sussex on 98 for 6, 92 runs away from the winning line. So the next partnership between Brown and Jordan was going to be the most crucial of the match. Jordan decided to follow Brown's lead by quickly going for the boundary. The runs were coming at a really good rate now, and Brown became just the 2nd man in this match to record a half century, his coming off 46 balls in innings including 5 fours and a 6. While Jordan will ultimately take the credit for finishing this game off in style, none of his efforts would have been possible had it not been for the keeper. Jordan celebrated for him by planting the next ball over mid-wicket for a 6. It was now impossible to pick a winner, even so late into the 4th innings of this magnificent match. Jordan raced into the 30s as this pair of hard hitters took their partnership to 55 in just 9 overs, taking the target down to 37. It looked as if Sussex were going to be the victors after all. Baron Chopra chucked the ball to Rankin, and with his second delivery, Brown, now on 53, timed to pull well but almost too well, as Patel hardly had to move at deep mid-wicket to take a catch which opened up this contest once again. There was still to be some twists and turns. With just 18 wanted and 3 wickets in hand, Jordan drilled this ball from Rankin down the ground, only for Barker to spill the chance at long on. Jordan took a single, which moved him on to 45. Warwickshire appeared to have let this game slip from their grasp. Not quite. Next ball, a fired-up Rankin had Ollie Robinson edging behind, and now the target was 17, with just 2 more wickets for Warwickshire to get. They got one of them just 2 balls later after 2 more runs had been taken off that target. McGoffin yorked by the big Irishman, and with 15 wanted by the last pair, it now seemed that it would be Warwickshire celebrating a win which would have them on top of the championship table for now. Matthew Hobden blocked out the last ball of Rankin's over, and it was now a battle between Wright and Jordan. The first ball of the next one pulled towards cow corner for a 4, and then the England man got to his 50 off just 33 deliveries, leaving it to Hobden to block out 2 more deliveries with 10 runs now needed. That was reduced to 6 as Wright banged one in too short, the ball ballooning over Tim Ambrose to leave Jordan back on strike with 6 needed for a win, which will be talked about on the south coast for some considerable time. In stormed Rankin, but Jordan stayed back in his crease and pummeled the ball high down the ground to win his side this sensational game of cricket. Jordan was thrilled, punching the air with delight as his side had taken the game by just 1 wicket, the all-rounder ending on a match-changing 56, which came off only 34 deliveries.
Yeah, it was a brilliant feeling, to be honest, to be there at the end, to hit those winning runs, to put in a performance for the club, really, a club which I love so much and which I consider home. So yeah, it was a really special moment.
Good game of cricket for those who turn up to watch, for very fine margins. And credit to Ben Brown and Chris Jordan, the way they played. They took the game away from us, a game that maybe on a different day we should have won. We didn't quite manage to execute when we needed to, and it's cost us dear.
So there it is, Sussex with the win by 1 wicket, for which they took 19 points to Warwickshire's 3, points which keeps both sides in the middle of the table, but with neither far off the top. Warwickshire now head to Lords to take on high-flying Middlesex, while Sussex go to Trent Bridge for next Monday to take on a side in the bottom 2.